Hi everyone and welcome to 4 Teachers. In today's video I'm going to share with you some of my top tips to help you prepare for your first year of teaching. It has been 6 years since I did my first year of teaching, or my NQT year if you are teaching in the UK, and it does feel like a really long time ago now. On the other hand, it does feel like it was just yesterday too. I can remember that feeling over the summer holidays where I really wanted to get prepared for my new job, but I didn't really know what to do, and I didn't really know how to best use my time over the summer. I do not have all of the answers, and I don't know exactly what would work for you as a teacher preparing for your first job, but I can share with you some of the top tips that I wish I had known and things that I wish I had done before I started my first teaching job. Just a little side note before we start this video, I would like to say that you do not have to do anything over the summer holidays to prepare for your first teaching job. It is perfectly acceptable to go on holiday, spend lots of time with your family and friends and rest and just enjoy yourself. Unless your new school have specifically asked for you to do something over the holidays, I don't think you need to be going into the classroom or doing lots of research about the curriculum or putting together lots of plans and lessons and long-term planning and things like that. I don't think you need to do over the summer. I think you will have time in your first year of teaching to learn about this, and you will have a mentor that will support you on that process. But if I can give you some tips and some ideas and things that you can do over the summer to help you to feel more organised or make you feel better for that first day of teaching, then I will try my best to give that advice to you guys now. One last final side note is that at the end of this video, the final tip that I give will be announcing something that I have been working on for the last couple of months. It's something that I'm really excited about, something that I'm really proud of, so please stay watching until the very end of this video and then I can let you know exactly what it is that I have been working on that I'm very excited to share with the teacher community on this channel. Without further ado, I will share with you guys my top tips for brand new school teachers. My first tip is all about the environment in the classroom that you're going to be based in as a school teacher. Once you have a new job secured and you have a school that you're able to go in and visit, if possible during the summer holidays, try and take a day or maybe 2 days to go and visit your brand new classroom. If you've been told which room you've actually been assigned to and which room will be your homeroom or your base, go and have a look, take some photographs of the layout, take some photographs of the walls, and just kind of start to get a feel for how that room will become like your hub and become like your nest when you move into the school. As a school teacher, you will be spending the majority of your time in that primary school classroom for the next year, maybe 2 years if you end up staying in the same classroom. Try and take the time to make it feel like a little bit of a home environment for you. It's not exactly an office space for you, but at the same time you will be doing your marking and assessment and lesson planning and interventions, and all kinds of different things happen in that room. So it is important that you find a way to make it as comfortable and as inviting as possible, considering you'll be spending a huge chunk of your time in that environment. I think before I started my first teaching job, I do remember going into the school and having a look around the classroom, maybe with my mum or my sister, and it was on a weekend when there was no other members of staff there, and I had space just to kind of look at the room and imagine myself standing in front of that crowd of children. And I think there was definitely points where I would stand as if I was presenting to a class, and I would try sitting at some of the tables. And I know it sounds really ridiculous to imagine an empty classroom feeling anything like a real full class of students. I think it really helped with the nerves on the first day of teaching, because when I stood up in front of the class of students for the first time, I did feel like I already knew my surroundings and I knew my environment, and I had already put up some displays on my walls, and I had already set up some systems that I wanted to use in the class, and some charts and tables and nice things like that was sort of already there in my classroom, and it helped it to feel like a little bit of a home when I first moved in there. There are a lot of videos on this channel about your first day of teaching and your first week of teaching and top tips for your new classroom, so maybe I'll flash some of those up on the screen right now. Maybe you can go and check them out. There is a playlist on this channel also called For New Teachers, and there's loads of top tips for your classroom in there as well. Perhaps you could go and check that out, and it will give you some good ideas for your first day of teaching, and you can prepare some of the resources that you might want to have ready on your desk for when you walk in. My second top tip would be definitely something that I've advised on this channel before. It's not a brand new top tip, but it is to try and learn some of the names of the students that you're going to have in your class before you meet them. I know I've given this advice before and I've said it a lot of times on this channel, but if you are able to learn some of the names of your pupils before you meet them in your class, it will help you so much. In a noisy classroom full of students talking, if you can say the name of the student that you're trying to get the attention of, you will stand a much better chance than going, You, excuse me, yes, you, tap your friend on the shoulder, yes, him, that's the one I want. If you can say the name of a child and you know who it is really quickly, it just helps so much with those early relationships and building respect from the child and building respect as a class teacher. I think it helps so much. You could ask the class teacher from the year before if they've got any photographs or maybe a blog that you can have a look at. Something that's quite useful is to print the faces of the children or print the names of the children, stick them on. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but I promise you, knowing the names of your students is probably one of the most useful things that you can have for that first week. Tip number 3 is all about subject knowledge. If you're starting to feel as though maybe your maths knowledge is a little bit rusty because it's been a few years since you did your GCSEs, or you feel as though you might want to improve your own knowledge of the curriculum, I would recommend this book here. When I was an NQT and I did my first year of teaching, I found this to be a super useful book to have in class with me. If I was teaching a new unit in mathematics, it was really good to get the book, have a look inside and see the sort of really beautiful visual representations of what it is that I needed to teach to my students. It was just a really useful and really comforting thing to have on my desk while I was teaching maths to year 5 students, which can be incredibly challenging, especially during your first year of teaching when you're still getting to know the class systems and your subject knowledge might just need a little bit of a boost. I know that they update this book all the time, so maybe it might be a bit different now to the one that I had in my NQT year, but it was a really helpful thing and I'm really happy that I had that during my first year of teaching. The next thing I would recommend you purchasing before you go and do your first year of teaching is this lanyard from the company EduBox. I didn't actually have this lanyard on my possession during my first year of teaching, but if I had, I know it would have been so incredibly useful for helping me to have a look at the curriculum and see where my students are supposed to be with their learning. Recently I mentored a teaching student and I lent her my lanyard to have a look at and to use while she was on placement, and she told me it was the most useful thing to have a look at the different curriculum expectations, different year group expectations, and of course to help with planning and assessment of primary school students. If you would like to treat yourself to one of these lanyards for your first year of teaching, or perhaps if you know a school teacher who is about to start their NQT year who might like a gift like this one, head over to the EduBox website and use the code 4teachers for 10% off your first purchase. My next top tip is quite a quick one. It is simply to try and connect with teachers via social media who have the same year group as you. Let's imagine that you've been told you're teaching year 3 for your first year of teaching. I would absolutely recommend trying to connect with other teachers that might have the same year group as you, or other NQTs or newly qualified teachers. Instagram is an amazing place for making connections with other teachers, as is Facebook. There's so many different groups you can join and communities that you can share your ideas with. I don't remember this being as popular 6 years ago when I started teaching. I don't remember connecting with many people over the internet who were also teachers, but these days it's amazing. There are so many people out there who are willing to share their ideas, their experiences. You can ask each other questions, you can share your planning and your ideas for a different book that you're looking at or a strand of the maths curriculum. I think that social media is definitely helping to bring school teachers together and maybe even reduce the workload, given that you can share some of the amazing ideas that you've got on there. If you do need some help connecting up with new teachers via social media, feel free to give me a message over on the 4Teachers Instagram page and I will try and create a group full of NQTs and you guys can discuss ideas together and share your thoughts and experiences, and we can build that using the 4Teachers Instagram page. My next top tip is to save all of your favourite apps and websites as tabs on your computer so that you can access them really quickly. I'm going to list some of my favourite websites to use for teaching now. I am not going to go into a huge amount of detail for each one just because the video would be really long, and I will make some videos specifically addressing these websites at some point and explaining how I use them in my teaching. I'm more just going to say the name of the website and leave a link in the description down below so you can go and check it out and see if it might be something that will help you during your first year of teaching too. Here are some top websites that I've used to help my teaching in the past in no particular order. Storyboard That is a really good website for helping children to build comic strips online and think about characters and genre. It's really helpful. There's loads of good stuff on there. I am going to do a video all about this website at some point and I will leave the link in the description. Twinkl might sound like an obvious choice, especially if you've been teaching for a while. However, when I first qualified as a teacher, it was still quite a small company. Your school may or may not have a subscription that you can use for Twinkl, so make sure that you check before you sign yourself up. There are loads of amazing resources available on here, lots of activities you can use with your class, inspiration, images, videos, games, all kinds of amazing things. I have made videos in the past about my favourite resources you can use on Twinkl, so I'll put that up on the screen somewhere now so you can check that out. Another website I absolutely love is Literacy Shed. I've definitely mentioned it many times before on this channel. It's great for lots of pictures, images, discussion, lots of really good open-ended story starter activities and getting to know your class activities. I think I also mentioned the website in my first day of teaching advice video, so be sure to check that one out. Twinkl, or maybe Twinkl, I'm not entirely sure how you would pronounce this one, is an amazing website for getting children to do some coding activities. It's really good for instructional writing, it's really good for cooperation and communication, and it is especially effective for building your computing curriculum, which may be something that your school is focusing on. Class Dojo is absolutely amazing for classroom management. Your children will love creating their own monster. Ryan has made a video all about how to use Class Dojo and how to implement it within your classroom. I will also leave a link to that video down in the description box. Be sure to ask your school if they have a subscription to Seesaw, which is an amazing sharing platform for your students' work and projects. If your school do have a subscription to Seesaw and you haven't used it before, you could have a look on the website and watch some of the tutorial videos and try to get to know a little bit about it before you start teaching a class. That might be a really useful way to help yourself get set up and ready for that first day. Education City is a really good website that lots of schools have access to around the world. Be sure to find out if your school do have a subscription, and if they do, consider having a look on the website and getting to know the different areas and the different games and activities, and having a think about ways that you might be able to incorporate them as part of your teaching. My kids absolutely love using the Play Live activity on this website. It is their absolute favourite. My final piece of advice that I have for you guys going into your NQT year is the kind of exciting thing that I would like to announce on this channel. Over the last couple of months, I have been working on a book or an ebook that I would like to share with you guys over the summer holidays. I would say I'm probably about 70% finished with it right now. It's not going to be massive. It's going to be more of a guide to your first year of teaching and things that you should expect from your first year of teaching. So it's not going to be a massive hefty document that you've got to spend ages reading through. It's more something that if you choose to, you could print out and you could have on your desk during your NQT year, and just like lots of little tips and tricks and advice and things that I've picked up from making this channel and things that I've picked up from my own memory of being a first year school teacher. Things that I would have found useful, I've decided to collate and create a document that might be of use to you guys as well. I don't have anything to hold up and present to you guys right now, but I can give you just a general idea. I'm going to start the book by just giving you some information about my own NQT year and the things that kind of helped to shape me as an educator. Then I'm going to talk about your first year of teaching, the terms of teaching, your mentor, your support network at school, your planning, preparation and assessment, your NQT time, your brand new class, your support staff, lots of information about setting up your new classroom, lots of information about subject knowledge, lesson observations, and all the extra things that I really want to talk about in these videos, but it's quite hard to fit into sort of 12-13 minutes. Just the thoughts that I always have that I really want to share with my audience. I wanted to collate it and make it really easily accessible for you guys. I haven't yet decided quite how I'm going to get this document out to you guys so that you guys can use it. I don't know if I'm going to have it on a website that you can go and download, or if I'm going to have it as an email that I send out to the teachers that request it. I haven't also yet decided whether or not I should charge a small fee for this document. I have made almost 100 videos on this channel now that are all free for you to use, so I don't know if I might say you can pay me like 99p or £1 to download this document. I haven't decided yet how I want to do this, and I haven't decided on the logistics of getting this document to you guys. If you are interested in receiving a copy of my NQT or first year of teaching guide, feel free to let me know somehow. You can send me an email, the email address is under here, or you can give me a message on Instagram and I will add you into a group, and I will make sure that you guys are the first ones to know when this document becomes available. I'm not saying that this document has got all the answers, but hopefully it will give you a lot of information about your first year of teaching and maybe just things that you hadn't really thought of yet that might be useful for that first day, that first week, that first month. As always, thank you so much to everyone who watches these videos and supports the channel. If you would like to help this video out today, please give it a thumbs up, clicking the subscribe button which is underneath this video, and turning on the notifications bell so that you know when I post a new video. Good luck with your first year of teaching, and I will see you guys again on the next video.